Hey guys, we're back with another one of Andrew's fans here. This is a Codep. I don't think there was a model number on it. Did you see a model number on it?
I did not.
Cast iron, or is it actually cast aluminum? I'm not sure. It's a cast spinner motor. It looks very much like a Supreme. It's got the wells where the blade arms mount like a Supreme. It's got the cool Codep canopy that I love. It's got some really beautiful dark walnut stencil blades. I'm trying to get them. The lighting up here isn't ideal for me to show you just how pretty these blades are. I'm trying to... You can kind of see. I bought this for the blades. I was going to use the blades on that... Well, no, I actually didn't buy it for the canopy. I like the canopy, but I bought it because I needed a set of stencil blades for the Broadway that's in the banquet room at 12 Wings. And then I found a set of stencil blades that actually I was more willing to sacrifice, and that way I could keep this intact, which I'm glad I did because it's finding a good home, although I would happily steal the canopy off of it. I love the little Codep canopy. I can't tell you why. So we've got, once again, got Andrew and Brittany here, and we're going to test it with the amp meter. We're going to test it with some controls. As always, Andrew's going to do the honors, at least at first. I believe we're already in forward downdraft, so we'll try it on low. High, medium, low. We're drawing 0.21 on low. I didn't think to look for an rated amperage. I should have done. We did a little bit of blade balancing, not too much. Again, I will do everything I can to balance fans that are mine, but I hate to do it on somebody else's because the brackets break too easily, and I don't want to be responsible for that on anybody else's unless that's really what we're doing. So, kind of a fast low speed compared to what we've been looking at.
Handsome fan nonetheless.
That's true, and we'll see how it does with the 4-speed control and the solid state control. We might be able to give you the low speed you want yet. So, you want to bump it up to medium? Is this your new favorite?
It reminds me of the fan my grandpa had. I think it's giving me nostalgia.
What did your grandpa have?
Looked just like it. Could have been a Codep.
Did it have the same canopy?
It was a flush mount.
Oh.
But the blade setup and stuff were the same.
It was probably either a Moss or a CEC. I don't recall a Codep flush mount that would be similar to this. And it's funny, I had that flush mount, but I had two of it. I had an antique brass one and a polished brass one. I'm pretty sure both are gone. Turn it to high. Was it 4 blades or 5?
It was 4.
Probably Moss then. The CECs are generally 5. I think both of the ones I had were 5 as well. It goes really fast. Oh, I didn't think to look. I should have thought to look. 0.7. That's pretty low for going so fast. Remember, did you catch what it was pulling on medium? Because I forgot to look. Okay, we can check on the way down. I'm going to go over here, and as I've been requested, I'm going to check and see if I get airflow from right here, which, again, I've yet to have a residential fan give me airflow right here, but that doesn't stop me from checking. With most of the good air-moving residential fans like this one, you can tell that there's air moving here, but you can't actually feel like a breeze.
Right, I mean, I can feel a little...
Right, and that's what I'm getting from this, but it's definitely on a par with any other solid air-moving fan, like a stack motor fan or anything else. So let's spin down and forward. What was it drawing on medium? We'll catch that real quick. 0.4 in medium. We've lost Brittany.
More blades together.
Oh, okay. I thought for sure we'd fanned her out, but
no.
Nope, she's going to fan some more. I get to sit in the chair then. She has hijacked my chair for most of the videos, but now I can... This reminds me of GE Vent fans sold at Sears, in fact, even though it wasn't. There's something about it. We didn't touch those bearings, and those bearings are great.
Is it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were hoping that was the low speed?
I was hoping that was the low speed.
Well, we'll try it with the control. Again, we can always see how the 4-speed control and the solid state control treat us. I have a slight theory that this is going to do really well with the solid state control. It's going to be quiet and give a nice range of speeds. It's just a theory, but I'm optimistic about this one. Usually the older cast iron fans do pretty well with the solid state speed control, since a lot of them had it built in. So how many? So you're moving soon, so you're not gonna hang any in your current place, are you? Are you gonna wait till you move, or?
You know, they're gonna.
How much longer do you have at your current place?
3 months, so yeah, I'll probably hang one.
Yeah, it's worth hanging one for 3 months, and especially if they're gonna bulldoze the place, then you can tack as much stuff to the ceiling as you want to. It's not like you have to worry about getting your security deposit back under those circumstances. Oh, those bearings are really good. Thing is going. What is that in my pocket? Oh, it's those mints from the restaurant. That was what's making the noise in my pocket. It's mints. Okay, I fail at one-handed peppermint opening. Okay, let's try reverse. Do you want to change it, or should I? Let's try low reverse. 0.22.
Quiet.
Yeah, it's silent. Seems like most fans wobble a little more, 0.41 in reverse than they do in downdraft. I'm sure a physicist will be able to tell me why that is. But yeah, it's silent. Absolutely silent. .71. Okay. I think my favorite is still the A52.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous fan.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like the A52. I like all my fans. They're all awesome and special in their own way.
That's true.
They all have their charm, and
You want to flip the reverse switch the other way so when we're ready we can reverse? I don't know what happened to it. This came with a schoolhouse fitter and globe when I got it.
oh, it did.
Yeah. I don't know. I must have took it off and used it on
It's a
something.
good fit for it. But
Yeah. It's the only good fit for. There's actually, you know what, and if we have time I can show you tomorrow. Otherwise I took a video on YouTube. There's a veterinary clinic that has 2 of these installed.
Really?
One of them has a schoolhouse globe and the other one has no globe. But
Where's that at?
it's okay. You know where my folks' house is in relation to the highway?
Mm-hmm.
Probably either the opposite. If you go past my folks' house and keep going down that busy street, maybe 3 miles, and then turn left. So it's not far from there.
Have you talked to them about them?
No, these type of fans are not something I really go out of my way to save because I've got a whole bunch of them in boxes, and I've been waiting on suckers like you to get them.
Haha. Haha. Funny guy.
So,
This joke.
yes. What's that from? Is joke?
I don't know.
That's from. I mean, it's been from a million things, but it started somewhere.
I don't know.
Okay.
Quintessential Russian guy?
Yeah.
Nice line down.
Yeah, because I mean, to rescue fans from businesses, you generally have to be willing to invest a lot of money. And something like gold lines, I'm willing to invest in. Something like verandas, I'm willing to invest in. As much as I like these, I'm just not in a position to invest in them. You know, I probably paid, I would bet that I paid no more than $30 for this, I'm not. I don't really remember what I paid, but I would be surprised if it was too much more than that. It was again, I bought it for the blades. It was at most 40, and if I was lucky, 10 or 15. But okay, let's try it with the 4-speed on low. Fingers crossed that this will make Andrew happy. 0.24. So that's actually looks like that's going to be faster than the stock low. So. If you want, you can turn the pull chain to low. We'll see what we get from that. I'll tell you something though. If you really like slow low speeds, you need to learn to like IntelliTouch, because speed 6 on or speed 1, depending on how you look at it, it's the first one that comes up, is always like the speed of the blender fan behind you. Because Casablanca made their bread and butter on aesthetic low speeds. You gonna turn it to low so we can see? We got a.
It is on high right now.
Yeah. Medium, low. Low's drawing 0.14. You want to stop it by hand and see what it does? That's faster than I expected, given that it's only drawing 0.14. That's closer to what you want. So, I don't know how much you know about how controls work. This is a capacitor-based control. Capacitors and microfarads. I'm assuming you know that from your work. You deal with capacitors. A capacitor in series with a permanent split capacitor motor, which has a capacitor in it already, essentially changes the phase. And so, okay, let's try the solid state. We're not going to go through this on all the speeds because we're looking for a particular thing. So, you want to turn that back to high? And let's try it with a solid state control. So, putting a capacitor in, you want to take the camera so I can change controls. Putting a capacitor in series with a permanent split capacitor motor just basically changes the phase, and the lower the capacitor value, the slower the speed. So this is what I call this is a 5, 10, 15 microfarad control. The lowest speed puts a 5 microfarad in series. The medium low speed puts a 10 microfarad in series. The medium high speed engages both capacitors, which results in putting a 15 microfarad in series. And so in this case, when the 5 microfarad doesn't give you a slow enough low speed, if you just want to try building your own control out of capacitor values, you might be able to get the low speed that you want with like a 3 or a 2 microfarad. So that's what I did like in that Lasco turn of the century that's in my parents' rec room that you admired the low speed on. I just played with capacitor values. I think it's either a 2 or a 3. I know it's something 0.75 because I tried, and whatever it was, 2.5 for example, was not enough to start the fan.
Is that still going?
Yeah.
It's a nice low.
It's not on low, it's off. It's spinning now.
Oh, I thought it was on still.
Yeah. Well, technically this control is in series, but it's set to the lowest possible setting. It's only drawing 0.01 amps, so I doubt that's actually doing something. I'll make sure that it's... Yep, it's in there. It's a little buzzy, we can tell. Here. So let's inch it up until it starts spinning.
Almost reminds me of just applying a variac to something.
These are essentially a poor man's variac. They chop up the wave rather than actually... if you had an actual variac, you could get the full range of speeds down to the very slowest low silently.
Nice.
But of course, a true variac, is very expensive to use for speed control. So, is that going to stall? No, that might keep going with that. There's your low speed.
That doesn't hurt the motor at all, huh?
Unless the motor stalls out. It's not a good idea for the motor to stall out. So, you try to avoid that. But as long as it's moving and not being loud, it's unlikely that it's going to hurt it. Because it's not enough current going through it to will cause it to overheat or anything like that. And again, if it's a motor that's not going to respond well to these type of controls, you'll know. So let's see how it goes on. I'm going to turn it an eighth. That's a little buzzy. It takes us to 0.15. There we go, another eighth. Takes us to 0.26. So I guess my philosophy about this one being quiet is wrong. Well, I've been wrong once before. I'll be wrong once or twice more in my life. And like I said, it was just a theory. Here's another eighth. Takes us to 0.42. Another eighth takes us to 0.59. And then the final eighth takes us to high. Yeah, the best thing to do for this one would be to make your own control, which just experiment with different capacitor values until you get the low speed you want, which again, the 5 microfarad was way too fast, so you try 4, 3, 2, and if like 3 is too fast and 2 stalls out, then you try 2.5 and whatever variations you can get. And then obviously remember that even between capacitors there's tolerance, so if something is rated at 3, some of them might be 3.2 and some of them might be 2.7, and they're, you know. So you got a capacitor tester?
I think so. It works.
I got one. I got one here somewhere, I think. And then what I would do is here's what I would do. I would pick my capacitor value based on the pull chain being on low. I'd put the pull chain on low and I'd find the capacitor value there that works with it. And I'd wire the capacitor into like a wall switch or something. And I'd have an on-off switch for the fan, and the capacitor would be wired in parallel with the switch. So when the switch is on, it's shorting across the capacitor. You get what I'm saying? So with the switch off, the current to the fan is going to go through the capacitor, which means you'll have low, medium, high, but through the capacitor. So low will be the really slow, medium will be slightly faster, high will be slightly faster, but they'll all still be like 3 low speeds. You turn the wall switch to high, and now you've got regular low, medium, high. Does that make sense? That's kind of what's in that TerraFan in my parents' dining room. There's a capacitor for low, and then medium and high is the variable speed control that's in the fan. And then there's a switch that shorts out the switches between them.